Hello everyone, it's James and Matt here from Christopher Shaw. Just wanted to bring you a bit of an update as to how things have been going since the lockdown. It's now been just over a month since we've been working from home, and really just wanted to let you know how things have been going, how the market's been in that time as well. Matt, how have leads been over this time? Because I understand you've had some in.
Yeah, surprisingly, still very active. And it does beg the question, do people know there is a pandemic going on? Because, the level of emails coming in, granted, a lot of them are speculative, asking questions, but there are a lot of people asking for viewings and, or the very worst video viewings, which is something that is challenging sometimes to get. If people are still living in the property, some people aren't comfortable getting videos out to us. But yeah, on the whole, there is still a steady supply of people looking to either find out more about properties or to they want viewing still. Obviously, we've got to explain that is very difficult under current circumstances, but we're trying to piece together, lets with video, photos, phone calls, descriptions, the best we can, basically. But yeah, still surprisingly busy.
That's good, I think, isn't it? And it shows there's still a demand there for property, and perhaps at the end of this there might be some vacuum, which is going to be people that are going to need to move. And I think, judging on what I've seen, it will certainly be down to, I think, affordability really more than anything else at the end of this.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there's different types of movers. I think the ones that are looking right now are the have to moves. I'm still hearing from a lot of people that people are being asked to leave accommodation, which obviously under the current climate shouldn't be happening anyway. But people, there are some that have to move, and those are the ones that we're trying to take through to move into a property. Then there are the want to moves, and the want to moves maybe are the ones which are the ones which may be in May, June, kind of time, and just filtering through those and trying to work out the ones that are essential and the ones that are just really looking to line something up for later in the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. I mean, obviously, I look after a lot of the rents that come in, and I think actually I've been pleasantly surprised that most tenants seem to be doing really well and keeping up with payments and things like that. I think that there's only been a relatively small amount of people that have quite rightly asked for deferrals or rent reductions, and we've worked with landlords in that circumstance. If they're struggling, that's the right thing to do, to try and reach an agreement rather than let things get out of hand. The advice is clear that rents and things are still due, and I think generally people have coped with it pretty well. And I think that's a really positive thing at the moment with the way things are going, because hopefully when we get out the other side of this, there'll be less of a less of a or more of a chance to sort of catch up, I think, and
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, funnily enough, we had that question on our call this morning is, how many of us in this, company have done any mortgage kind of holidays? And the answer was very little. And I think that the point of that is none of us really want to be pushing financial problems further down the line. I think if we're all trying to meet our bills and our mortgages, we're going to try and do that,
Yeah,
because no one wants to be in arrears, albeit with a mortgage holiday, it's spread over an extremely long period of time. I think most people would just, if we can pay it, we're going to pay it. And, at least we know that's not going to be an issue in 3 or 4 months' time. And I think it's the same for your tenants. I think once they know that if it's a deferral, then that problem's just going to come knocking in a few months' time. If it's genuine hardship, obviously there is no choice. But if it's, I'm thinking of maybe looking at getting a deferred payment, I think most people are just avoiding it just because it causes a problem just in a few months' time instead of now.
yeah. I mean, it's a difficult time for everybody, and everyone is trying to do their best throughout whatever's going on, and that I think everyone's come together really and really tried to work at getting through this together, and accepting that everybody
Mm.
everybody's affected.
Yeah,
I think has been the way I've sort of seen it. But in
yeah,
general, I think that the market, the lettings market, will remain pretty stable, pretty strong. It just will depend on how people end up with wages and things like that come the end of it. But I think that lettings
yeah,
always tends to perform during times of difficulty, because simply people need places to live, and
yeah.
that will still be the case at the end of this. It will still be the case, you know, many years down the line, I'm sure. Obviously, there's lots of changes as well. Other things that have sort of happened at the same time as all of this. That we still have to business as usual in terms of making arrangements for gas safety certificates, keeping certificates and things like that all all going still, and we're doing our best to do all of that, and I'm sure that those kind of things haven't stopped. We've had the EPC legislation change. We've got the electrical safety stuff that we're all preparing for as well, and this hasn't been an opportunity for people to stop doing those things, making those preparations. We've just had to carry on going, and follow the advice and social distancing and all that kind of stuff. And thankfully, a lot of people are still taking that seriously and doing what they need to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's no getting around from the fact it's extremely challenging running a company from two separate houses in one in Bournemouth, one in Poole. It's not easy, but as you touched on earlier, we're just doing the best we can, and hopefully it won't be much longer. There's been lots of internal kind of news that agents may be one of the earlier businesses to be allowed to kind of head back to doing work, pretty much because we don't necessarily need to have walk-in customers. We can still keep the offices closed, but be able to work in a singular location. I think the only thing which is still struggling is viewings. And the sooner we can get back to that safely, the quicker we can get back to being normal as a business. And that's probably the one area which is impacted us the hardest is new business, as we call it, or just meeting people out at properties. So everything else within reason can be done remotely, over the phone, by email, as long as the contractors are available. So obviously we're all looking forward to getting back to the office and to normal working practices as soon as possible.
Absolutely. So anyway, that was just a quick update from Matt and myself, just to let you know what's been going on, what we've seen in the local lettings market over the last month or so since we've all been under lockdown. And thank you for watching our videos. We're getting some really great feedback on those. And
some more good ones coming soon.
Absolutely. Some new guests that are booked in. So we'll keep you in the loop and we'll let you know what's going on, and stay safe, everybody. Thank you.
Yep. See you later. Bye-bye.